As we approach the end of this market cycle, it's the perfect time to start having real discussions about when it might make sense to take profits on XRP. Let's be honest, everyone has their own ideas about how high XRP could go, and everyone's financial situation is unique. Where and when you choose to take profits will vary widely, and that's okay. But here's the thing, these conversations matter. Even if someone's plan doesn't align with yours, it can still spark new ideas or perspectives. At the very least, it gets you thinking critically. If you don't have an exit strategy yet, now's the time to start. Whether it's a detailed plan or just some mental notes, having a roadmap is crucial. After all, the goal is to make informed decisions, not emotional ones. When the market is buzzing with excitement and you're sitting on life-changing wealth, it's easy to lose clarity. That's why it's crucial to nail down the basics early, make a plan, decide when and how you'll sell your XRP if that's part of your strategy. Trust me, when the moment comes and you're staring at your skyrocketing net worth as the market rallies, the temptation to hold out for more will be over. You'll convince yourself it's going higher and fear will paralyze you. But here's the truth. Trying to time the absolute top is a fool's game. You won't sell at the peak. It's just not realistic. So don't stress over perfection. Stick to your plan and avoid the trap of chasing the impossible. Let your logic take the wheel because emotions will always be along for the ride. Here's the deal. You're never going to sell at the absolute peak, and beating yourself up over selling just before the price climbs higher, that's a losing game. Even if it doubles or triples after you've cashed out, so what? You made a smart call because no one has a crystal ball. Taking risk off the table is a win, and if it's the right move for you, don't let hindsight guilt creep in. At the same time, don't freeze up, afraid to sell just because the price might go higher. If it's life-changing for you, then embrace it. It's life-changing. Remind yourself of that before you're stuck in an emotional whirlwind that clouds your judgment. I'll admit, I have to check myself on this too. I've been through enough market chaos to keep my cool and avoid panic selling. Back in 2020, XRP plummeted to $0.15. Technically, it hit $0.10, but when it dropped to $0.15, I jumped at the chance. It was the lowest price I'd ever snagged XRP. My net worth had taken a hit because XRP was tanking hard, well below my average buy-in price. And you know what? I was pumped. No panic, no hesitation, but let's be real. Since I haven't cashed out to USD, I know I'm going to feel those all too human emotions when the thought of selling crosses my mind. Here's the thing though, I'm wired differently. I don't let emotions run the show. Sure, I'll probably feel something. After all, I'm not an actual robot, though I might play one on YouTube. But when the time comes, I'm confident I'll stick to the plan. Logic, data, reason, that's my playbook. Emotions, overrated. They can take a back seat. When it comes to investing, I try to keep emotions out of it. No second guessing, no overthinking, just stick to the plan and stay focused. That's the key right now. We're at a pivotal moment where things could take off any day. Analysts are increasingly pointing to big moves ahead for the market as a whole. I actually touched on this in my last video. There's a growing buzz among XRP chart analysts. Many are convinced that XRP is set to take off sooner rather than later. I think I covered about 8 different analysts who all agree it's looking more likely that XRP will make a big move soon. Maybe June, maybe July. Basically, we're talking weeks, not months. Of course, nothing's guaranteed, but the momentum is building fast. No one can say for sure, but I truly believe it's possible. Possible enough that you need to be ready. That's exactly why I'm bringing this up now. Check out this post from chart analyst Stock Money Lizards. He's looking at Bitcoin, of course, and here's what he says. Clean. Be prepared for a strong leg up. Shorts are being liquidated. A green candle is coming when the squeeze hits. He's confident the short term is finally shaping up. And you know what that could mean? Bitcoin kicking off its final parabolic rally of this cycle. When that happens, the money starts flowing, rotating into altcoins like XRP, full-blown alt season. This pattern has played out many times before. History tells us it's coming. The only question is when. Once again, as I've been saying, countless analysts are pointing out the same thing. Pick any metric, and it's looking eerily similar to the last cycle right before the big move. It's hard to ignore. Take this post from chart analyst Crypto Michael, for example, dated January 12th, 2023. Yep, nearly 2.5 years ago. He called it, Bitcoin has bottomed at $15,400. Now, that's a time capsule of a tweet. Take a look at it. Remember the popular sentiment back then? Nope, it's not stopping. It's going lower. $12,000, maybe even $10,000, 0 cents. Sound familiar? If you were on social media, you couldn't miss it. Everyone was shouting it, including the infamous Capo, Il Capo of crypto. He called it disastrously wrong, doubled down instead of owning up, and managed to alienate a whole crowd. So here's the thing. He was spot on, called the bottom perfectly. Oh, and let's not forget, he also predicted XRP's breakout this cycle. Pretty impressive, right? He's just one of several analysts I keep an eye on, and all of them nailed it. None of these pros think the cycle is done yet, by the way. They all saw Bitcoin's bottom coming, crystal clear. And those XRP analysts, they had that move pegged too. Honestly, with track records like this, I'd say they're worth paying attention to. Sure, no one's perfect, but they've been pretty darn accurate so far. So here's the scoop. On Monday evening, he reposted something bold. He claimed, the Bitcoin rally I called from $15,000 to $112,000, that was just the warm-up. The next phase of the biggest bull run in history kicks off this week. The entire crypto market is about to go parabolic. Buckle up. All right then. Prediction like that is definitely daring. Saying it's all kicking off this week is no small statement. Are we talking about Bitcoin breaking into a new all-time high and then rocketing up from there? Maybe, but here's the thing. Even for seasoned analysts with solid track records, calling short-term price moves always makes me nervous. That said, I get it. History has a way of repeating itself, and if the past is any guide, now would be the time for things to align. The timing feels right, I'm just acknowledging the patterns here. That's what I'm saying. But here's the thing. He's convinced, and honestly, I keep seeing it everywhere too. It's going to happen, folks. Check out this post from chart analyst Jackus. He's comparing two Bitcoin charts. On the left, late 2023 into early 2024, and on the right, where we are now. What's fascinating is how similar these structures look. Jackus essentially points out that you could overlay the 2023 chart onto today's, and it lines up almost perfectly. Notice the green highlights he's drawn over key sections. It's like Bitcoin is repeating the same pattern. If that's true, we might be sitting right at the edge, just before Bitcoin took off in the previous cycle. The fractal from 2023 to early 2024 suggests history may be repeating itself. Jackie's shared this Monday evening, writing, if Bitcoin can sustain these levels going into tomorrow, and now here we are on Tuesday. If Bitcoin holds its ground through tomorrow and into the week, this fractal might not just be confirmed, but could fully kick into gear. That's when things could get exciting. Alts may start rebounding hard from this correction, potentially hitting new highs. Some are still at steep discounts, but the promising ones won't stay down for long. Another analyst chimed in saying this could genuinely be the moment Bitcoin takes off. And let's not forget, when Bitcoin moves, alts follow. He's clearly on the same page, hinting at the ripple effect we all know is coming. Here's a post from chart analyst Mustache, sharing some insights on the crypto total market cap. He offers a friendly reminder, the total market cap is still closely following the 2020-2021 roadmap. In his view, significantly higher levels are just around the corner in the coming weeks and months. He predicts altcoins and Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin. Yet another seasoned analyst with a solid track record is doubling down, saying this is the moment. While he's not pinpointing an exact date, his confidence is based on historical patterns, and honestly, that approach makes sense. He's essentially saying it's go time, whether it's in the next few weeks or months. Comparing this cycle to the last, the similarities are striking. Take a look. His charts make a strong case. Feels familiar, doesn't it? Go ahead, nod your head. The answer is yes. Check out this insight from chart analyst Malleus. When Ethereum clears major higher time frame resistance, I'm going full bull mode, even on the lower time frame. On the higher time frame, we've been bullish since the bottom. If this happens soon, say goodbye to a choppy summer. Here's the thing, Malleus isn't the only one thinking this. He's pointing to the possibility that this summer might not be the usual sideways grind with low volatility. Instead, there's a strong chance we could see a breakout to the upside. And honestly, I've been saying this in so many videos lately. Most summers are dull, sure, but here's the twist. In the fourth year of each cycle, looking back at previous cycles, that summer is anything but boring. It's the game changer. And guess what? That's exactly where we are right now. Look back at 2021, Bitcoin soared. Go back to 2017, same story. And altcoins joined the party. Now here we are in 2025, the fourth year of the cycle. If history repeats itself, we might just be in for anything but a boring summer, even though most summers tend to drag. here's the thing. If you've been paying attention to past cycles, you're right to expect sluggish summers, except when it comes to the fourth year of bull runs. History has consistently shown this pattern. Now, does that mean fireworks are guaranteed this summer? Not exactly, but history has a funny way of rhyming, and it's worth staying alert. If it doesn't play out this time, well, that would truly be unprecedented. And as they say, this time is different, are often famous last words. Here's a post from Stuff is Crypto. XRP's big moment starts now. Whether it's today, tomorrow, or next week, the countdown is on. Check out this prediction. He's marked a line where XRP could hit the $12 range by June or maybe July. Will it happen in that time frame? Who knows? But here's the thing. It's not as far-fetched as it sounds. It wouldn't take a huge influx of money to push XRP to that level. Here's an interesting post from chart analyst Zoom that I shared yesterday, but it's worth bringing up again because it's so on point. He dives into a selling strategy for XRP that I think you'll find thought-provoking. His plan? To sell most of his XRP when it hits $7 to $8. Now, here's the kicker. He believes XRP could actually peak between $8 to $13. Naturally, the question comes up, why not hold out and sell at $10 to $13 instead? And his response is gold. Timing the top is a fool's game. And he's right. Anyone with real experience in crypto knows this truth. If they don't, well, let's just say they've got some learning to do. Timing the perfect peak isn't realistic, and seasoned investors understand this better than anyone. If you've been through multiple market cycles, you already know timing the peak perfectly is impossible. It's a stressful game, no doubt, especially when the stakes are so high. If you're holding life-changing wealth in XRP and the price inches closer to your dream exit point, I get it. You'll feel the pressure. You'll start thinking, but what if it goes just a little higher? That small bump could mean hundreds of thousands more, maybe even 500,000, depending on your stack. It's tempting, right? I completely understand. These are real gut-wrenching decisions people face. And let's be honest, if you do sell and the price keeps climbing, it might eat at you. You might think, man, if I just held on a little longer, I'd have another 500,000 in the bank. Stop overthinking it. Seriously, don't do that to yourself. Let me be real with you because I care. Quit stressing over things you can't control. You can't predict the top. Being upset about missing it is as pointless as being mad you didn't win last week's lottery. Why didn't you win? Because you can't see the future. If you could, you'd already be holding that winning ticket, right? Exactly. So let's be logical here. Aiming the top is impossible. And yeah, maybe you'll leave 6 or 7 figures on the table if you're sitting on enough XRP. And guess what? That's probably going to happen to a lot of you. Honestly, I bet on it. But here's the thing. It's fine. If you walk away with life-changing gains, then mission accomplished. Life-changing is life-changing, no matter what. Focus on what really matters. That's what logic tells us. But when the stakes are high, it's easy to fall into the trap of chasing just a little more, thinking it's going to keep climbing. The danger? You might miss the peak, watch it crash back down, and end up regretting everything. I've seen it happen too many times, especially in the XRP community. Take the last cycle or even the one before. One guy, even though XRP didn't hit a new all-time high, saw his holdings soar to $800,000 when it hit $2. He didn't sell a single coin. The regret he felt afterward? Immense. Then there's another story from 2017. A guy in the XRP community had about $650,000 at its peak. There are a couple of real world examples that have stuck with me. Stories I'll never forget. One in particular really hit home. This guy, and he shared this publicly because he wanted others to learn from his experience, shared how he sold $100,000 worth of crypto. Sounds good, right? But at its peak, it was worth $650,000. Then the market tanked. He missed the rest of the cycle and everything came crashing down. So this is the reality of crypto. It happens to real people all the time. And I'm telling you now, we're reaching the point where this is going to be a reality for a lot more people. So be smart. If you sell and the price keeps climbing, don't beat yourself up. Seriously, that's normal. In fact, you should sell knowing it might go higher. That's part of the game. Accept it up front. It might go just a little higher, or it might double, triple, or even quadruple. Who knows? I'm expecting the same thing. I've already talked about my plan to sell, and I know full well I won't get the exact top. I'm planning to sell most of my XRP between $5 and $8. Why? Because I went all in on XRP over several years, taking on a level of risk most people wouldn't dream of. Back then, XRP was far from a sure thing, but I had conviction strong enough to double down when others wouldn't. I bought a massive amount so that when the price climbs, I can sell comfortably at lower levels, take the risk off the table, and still achieve life-changing wealth. That's the strategy. De-risk early and avoid the pressure of holding out for $10, 0 cents, $15. Sure, I fully expect XRP might skyrocket well past $8, $20 if it hits $20, even $30 after I've sold almost everything, so be it. I might keep a small 10% stash just in case, but honestly, I won't lose sleep over missing higher peaks. I'll have already hit my goals. It's about taking calculated risks and knowing when to cash in. That's the plan, and I'm sticking to it. I'm here to cheer on everyone selling at higher prices than me because at the end of the day, we're a community. I want to see you all succeed. And honestly, I'll already be set financially. Like, it'll be mind-blowing for me. Well, you got to look at it that way, or you're setting yourself up for failure. That's the whole reason I'm making this video. Be careful out there. Take this post from Bobby A as an example. He shared a market cap chart for XRP and wrote, "We will systematically, methodically, and unemotionally distribute within our target range when appropriate. We have our formula, its strategy plus patience." Bobby gets it. This is the same guy who called XRP's breakout this cycle, and he's targeting $8.10 for his profit zone. He also believes there's a strong chance it'll go even higher. He's sharing what he thinks is an ideal take per profit zone. If you believe the price is going way higher and that's where it makes the most sense for you to sell, stick to your plan. It's your call, not mine. I can't tell you what's best for you. I'm just pointing out the common traps people often fall into. When your unrealized crypto gains skyrocket on paper and your net worth takes a massive leap, moments like this can test anyone. I'll be in the same boat too. I'll have to push myself to follow through. And honestly, it might be harder than I expect. But I'm wired to stay optimistic. By nature, I'm a disciplined by the books kind of guy. I hold myself accountable. I let logic, data, and reason take the driver's seat, even when emotions try to grab the wheel. It's not always easy, but thankfully I've gotten pretty good at it over time. That doesn't mean I won't feel something when the time comes. I will, and I'll talk about it then. But honestly, I haven't crossed that bridge yet. So yeah, there's a bit of uncertainty, but I feel pretty confident I'll handle it. Still, I know this is where things get tough. You'd think selling would be the easy part, right? Especially if you're new to crypto. Nope. Selling is not the easy part. Let me say it again. Selling is not the easy part. In fact, none of it is. The whole process is challenging. When prices are low, you're panicking. Oh no, is it going to drop even more? Should I sell now and cut my losses? Then when prices are high, it's just as stressful. Should I sell now? But what if it skyrockets? See, every part of it is hard. That's the reality of it. Always have a plan. For almost a decade now, ever since diving into crypto, I've had a solid idea of how I'll navigate this space. Sure, I haven't nailed down every single detail. There are just too many moving parts. The unpredictability of the market makes it tricky to lock in every decision. When it comes to taking profits in crypto, a lot depends on external factors, which ultimately shape how much risk I'm willing to take. For example, I might reserve 10% of my total XRP and ride the wave higher, maybe to $10, $15 or beyond if the opportunity presents itself. Who knows? I might sell that small portion up there, but it all depends on how things unfold. Our analyst Greg Crypto is back with some solid advice. Here's the XRP/USD chart on screen, and he's reminding us again about those double-digit targets. By now, you should get what he means, but here's the key. Don't fixate on just one target to sell. Greg urges us to stay rational, take profits strategically, and set clear, actionable goals. Seriously, don't wait for that mythical perfect price. Have a solid exit plan ready. And of course, a reminder, your decisions are yours. He's not responsible for them. And honestly, he's spot on. The smartest move is to sell at multiple price points. Just like dollar cost averaging when you buy, spreading your exits gives you exposure across different levels. That's my strategy, and it's worked like a charm. Back in the summer of 2018, as XRP was tumbling, I remember seeing it hit $0, 55 cents. I thought, this feels low enough. I don't know where the bottom is, but it's time to start buying. So I jumped in at $0, 55 cents. But it kept falling, $0.50, $0.45, $0.40. I kept buying. The lowest I ever bought, March 2020 at $0.15. When all was said and done, my average cost for XRP sat around $0.25. It wasn't always smooth sailing. For a long stretch, I was underwater on most of my XRP holdings. And you know what? That was fine. I had broad exposure, and now every one of those price points looks pretty great. Even $0.55. Think about it. I bought at $0.55 and it dropped all the way to $0.10. That's brutal. You're looking at almost losing everything. But then patience paid off. This year, XRP hit a new all-time high of $3.40. That's the game. It's all about hanging in there, weathering the storm, and staying patient. So yeah, I got exposure from all those levels, and now it all feels worth it. Just like I took my time accumulating, I'll approach selling strategically, but with more urgency. While you might have years to build your position, bull runs are fast and unpredictable. Take December 2017, for example. XRP's final surge, that cycle lasted just about 2.5 weeks. That's a blink of an eye in crypto terms. So timing matters, and you've got to be ready to move quickly. For me, once prices hit my target range, I'll likely be selling almost daily. I'll share what I'm doing and when, along with the percentages I'm offloading. Now, I won't dive into how much XRP I hold. That's personal. But when it comes to the percentage of my holdings I plan to sell, I'm more than happy to break that down. So here's the thing. Greg points out, do you see what I see? The measured move hints at $20 for XRP, but he believes the next bullish phase could be brutal with an 86% drop, similar to the 2021 bear market. If we hit $27, that could mean XRP tumbles back to around $3. And honestly, he might be onto something. Let that sink in for a moment. Now, I'm not saying we're going to hit $27. It's not a prediction. It could happen. Maybe it won't. But let's say it does. Then imagine that 86% plunge straight back to $3. Scary, right? Here's the dilemma. You're sitting there thinking, I don't want to sell. It could go higher. What if $27 is just the start and then you freeze? Paralyzed. But what if you hold and bam, it tanks 86% overnight? Suddenly it's $3 and you missed your chance. The truth is, none of us have a crystal ball. I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. But at some point, you've got to make a move. You got to have a plan. Without one, you're more likely to make a big mistake at the worst possible moment. And I don't want to see that happen to anyone in our community. Whatever works best for you is totally fine. Some of you might want to sell sooner than I would, while others might hold out for longer. That's okay. The important thing is to have a plan that fits your unique situation. My plan is based on my personal circumstances, my goals, my expectations, the amount of XRP I hold, and how it aligns with my overall net worth. Your situation is different from mine, so what works for me isn't necessarily what's right for you. I'm not saying my approach is the correct one for anyone else. What I am saying is this: take the time to figure out what's best for you. Stay sharp and watch out for the common pitfalls. Don't trip yourself up now. The opportunities here are massive and they're right within reach. We're so close, it feels like we're on the edge of the take opportunity zone. I'd bet the next big move is just around the corner. Whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, or next quarter, that moment could strike at any time. This is an exciting chapter for XRP holders, and we're finally nearing the end of this journey, ready to kick off a brand new one. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't make any buying or selling decisions based on what I say. Seriously, that'd be a bad move. Stay smart out there.